Hello everybody, it's day 3 of the Drink More Herbal Tea Challenge, and today we're going to talk about how to make the whole tea drinking experience a little bit more enjoyable. I've had people say they do not like herbal tea at all, they wish they did, they've tried it and they don't like it, and I'm always pretty shocked at that. People would say they don't like it because there's so many different options out there of different herbal tea blends. There's different options about how to prepare it, and there are options on how to add things to it to make it enjoyable. So I'm going to talk about a few things you can add to herbal tea to make it taste good. Then I'm going to talk about some fun ways just to make the whole experience a little bit more enjoyable too. So if you're on here watching, and let me know if you're here and who you are. I always like to know where people are from and who is watching. I can only see a little number 1 here. I know somebody's watching, but I don't know who it is. So anyways, all right, I sent out a handout for day 3, and it talks about some of the different things you can add to herbal tea to have as a taste enhancer to it. And then there's a little activity I proposed, and then a little area where you can write down what you tried and have a little herbal log of your experience for the activity. All right, so yesterday, what did we talk about? Oh, we talked about different herbs to drink. And the day before that, we talked about how to make an herbal tea, how to make tea in general. So, hi Sandy, nice that you are here. Thanks for letting me know that it's you. So what to add to tea if you don't like it? So first of all, remember that you can make it stronger. If you made the tea too strong, you could always add some more hot water and dilute it down so it's a little bit weaker too. That might be something that you can try, is just try different amounts of water and the strength of it. Try fresh versus dried tea, that's good too. I add honey usually to mine. I like a little sweetness to it if it's around, if it's possible. Another thing I will add to herbal tea blends is some stevia. Now this is way more stevia than a person ever needs. But I was doing a workshop and had to buy it in bulk. But with stevia, the real deal stevia, the dried stuff is very sweet as well as the fresh stuff. But stevia, you really only need just a very small pinch of it in bulk tea. So I found that the liquid stevias have a strong aftertaste, and I think it's because it's just a very concentrated version of it. The fresh stevia leaf and the dried stevia leaf don't have nearly the type of aftertaste that I can encounter when I have liquid stevia or even a powdered stevia. I've used it for baking before, and there's just kind of a different aftertaste. You might be able to get used to it, but I haven't been able to. So, but the fresh and the dried stevia is really usable and doable. It's very, very sweet. It's something like 300 times sweeter than sugar, so cane sugar. So you don't need much of it. Other things that I add is elderberry syrup. I make elderberry syrup just to take in the winter months for helping with the fighting off colds and flus and things like that. But then during the summer months, I actually take the syrup and I freeze it in ice cubes. And it doesn't freeze really, really hard because of the honey content in it. There's still a little bit of it's a little bit squishy in a way, but it still forms an ice cube, and then I take it out with like a spoon or a fork and put it into my tea. It cools it down and adds really great flavor to it. Some people add salt to their nettle, so some people like that salty flavor in a nettle tea. I tend to go on the sweet side, so I like anything that's a little bit sweet. So yeah, any kind of different kind of syrups that you have on hand, you could use. Certainly maple syrup, true maple syrup. If you ever buy pancake syrup at the store, it's many times, if you look at the label, it's actually just high fructose corn syrup with some maple flavoring in it. So I always make sure I'm buying like pure maple syrup, and that's always good for a flavor enhancer to teas as well. So syrups and honey, maple syrup, oops, excuse me. And then what else do I add? Oh yeah, 100% fruit juice is something I've added before too. All different flavors there that you can try. There are even some juices out there that are very concentrated, so they're a little bit maybe on the tart side. And if you like more of a tart flavor, then you could try something like that too. Sparkling water of various kinds, you can add that to tea, so then you got more of like a bubbly flavor to it, a texture sensation in your mouth to it. It adds just a little bit more of a different overall experience about it too. So juices, 100% fruit juice, concentrated juice, syrups, lemon, add lemon or lime, maybe even an orange square, anything like, or orange wedge, anything like that to the tea you could try to just give it a different flavor. And again, try it cold or hot, try it with all these different kinds of flavor enhancers, and you will, get a different experience with the tea. So just try different things, try mixing it with things. And then over time, your taste buds get used to all those different flavors in herbal tea, and you will find that you'll be able to tolerate herbal tea when you don't have a sweetener or a syrup or something on hand, and you'll be able to just drink it just straight as it is if you need to. So your taste buds do have to get used to herbal tea if you're really used to pops or soda or coffee, things like that. Oh, I was going to sneeze. Oh, milk and cream. Cream is something else that you might want to add to your herbal tea if you like that, especially for dandelion root teas. I like to add a little bit of cream if I have it around, because it just kind of has that flavor along the lines of coffee, really robust and not thick, but it's just a really hearty, kind of flavor. And sometimes that that milk, that cream really cuts down on that bitterness and just helps with that too. So you could add even honey and cream all together and have a really delicious drink. Cinnamon is another one that you could sprinkle into a tea if you wanted to add some of a different flavor to it too, just to change the flavor up a little bit. All right, so there's what you can add to the tea, and then always, if you need it, get yourself some sort of muffin or cookie or something, gluten-free cookie, no-bake cookie, anything to eat with it, to drink the tea with. So that's if you're really new to drinking herbal tea and you don't really like it and you're trying to find a way to get your taste buds to get used to it. Maybe eating something with it too can help too. Do what you gotta do. Another way to make the whole tea drinking experience enjoyable is to make sure that everything is within a reachable, accessible to you. Don't put everything up in the highest cupboard possible and then have to figure out a way to climb the cupboards to get it. Make sure that the teapot is ready to go, clean and ready. Maybe you're not a teapot kind of person and you need to use the microwave. You can do that as well. I tend to like putting water on the stove to boil it, but the microwave is kind of my last resort if I'm in a hurry and need to get some water ready. So, ooh, I should have this, minus sinus. That's what I need for my allergies right now. And this tea. The other thing about nettle tea, excuse me, nettle tea is not like something I just gulp down or drink. I really just sip on it, a little bit at a time. So don't feel like, it has to be so delicious you're just going to suck it down super fast. It's okay to let it sit for a while and take a drink, and as I walk past it, I take another drink. But minus sinus would be good too, because of the mullein in here is really good for the respiratory system and helping to dry things out a little bit. Also got spearmint. You find a lot of spearmint and different mints in with tea mixes to give a really good flavor to it. But if you're not a mint person, then stevia. They got stevia leaf in here too. So, but I like to keep my tea blend stuff, all my tea choices, in like a tote of some sort. So I'm not like having to go from cupboard to cupboard and finding where did I put that one tea and where did I put the other one. And all the smells mixed together are really enjoyable too. So, you look like a little rabid raccoon trying to find things in here, moving around. So try to keep the bin, if you use a bin, try to keep it not packed full. I've had some bins where they're like a Rubik's Cube and I have to move one to find the other, but I find that if I have some extra room, I can just move things around and look for what I want. I can't always remember what I have either because I try so many different things. And here's another fun way to keep it. If you don't have room in your cupboard, you could keep it in a fun basket, and you could have it next to your favorite place that you sit. Maybe like, I don't know, a recliner or something. You have it right there, so you can always just find the one that you want and take it to the kitchen and get it ready. I also like to keep all my tea making like filters and strainers, keep them in the same place so that I don't have to rummage through the kitchen and find them either. So they kind of are always in the same place, and I make sure to clean them up as soon as I can so that if I'm looking to make a loose leaf tea, that I'm ready to have, that to do. I don't have many like extra strainers laying around because I just don't have room for that kind of thing, but I try to keep them in the same places. And then if you're just really on the go and really hurry, just make sure you have your prepackaged teas ready for yourself, so that way you don't have to be looking for strainers and your favorite tea ball and things like that. Also keep a selection of different teas, herbal tea mixtures on hand, so that if you're suddenly feeling like a cold is coming on or some sort of sickness, you have your Echinacea Plus or some other kind of blend that supports the immune system, rather than having to go out to the store and find it. That's very inconvenient when you don't feel good and you have to get up and go out and go find an herbal tea. So even though it's I may not use some of these, like organic ginger aid. I don't need this every day, but I certainly keep something on hand so that I can keep it around and be prepared for whatever ails me. Whatever ails me. Gypsy Cold Care is another one I really like to have on hand. Even though it says cold care, I would use it for all sorts of other things as well. So, yeah, it's got ginger in it, so that would be even good for the upset stomach. Cinnamon in there would be good for that too. European elderflower is good for help with fevers if you're feeling too hot. Throat coat is good for any sort of scratchy throat situation. This is my Tulsi basil. I just dried it, so I got to keep an eye on it to make sure that it was all dried up, and I keep it in a bag because I ran out of jars, and this is a way you can actually see if any condensation is happening with something that you dried, so just to make sure that it was all done right. But I usually don't keep them in plastic bags. It's not my preferred way, but if I have these little bags on hand, I'll do that. So yeah, just a nice little handy way to keep that ready and accessible and ready to go whatever you're doing in your day. So those are some ways to enhance the flavor of your tea. Also to keep your tea making process streamlined and organized so that you're not rummaging around in your kitchen late at night trying to find something to help with a sore throat. And just remember that there's so many tea blends out there, different kinds of brands and everything like that. So if you don't like a certain tea, don't fret. That doesn't mean you are done with your herbal tea or your herbal tea journey. It's just that you got to try something new that you haven't tried before. and maybe even just a little bit at a time. Some people get discouraged and think, you know, I made some tea, but I never drink my whole teacup. And that's okay too, because I actually don't typically drink like a whole cup of tea right at the setting. I like to just, like I said, sip on some of it throughout the day. And I drink it more if I'm with somebody else and we're talking. So get yourself some tea drinking buddies around and circle up around the table and drink some tea and get those awesome snacks out to go with it. All right, so that is all I have for today. I did send out a handout with the, all these suggestions in it, so you can keep it handy. So when you're thinking about like, hey, what can I add to my tea to make it taste a little bit different, you don't have to come to this video. You can just pull out your print. Hopefully you can print it out or keep it somewhere electronically handy. And then also I'll have 2 more handouts to send you right after this video. So if you're not on the list for this challenge, I'll put that link in the chat so that you can get access to it. And I can just send you, I send out some extra, some extra things that I don't go over in the video chat too. So be looking for those in your email inbox. Yeah, and then tomorrow is the last day of this challenge, and I'll be talking about some ways to grow herbs so that you can have your own plants to harvest and dry and make your own, you know, herbal tea from. That's always an exciting thing to be able to do, is to have something that you can have that you grew yourself, and it's going to give you that extra incentive to make some herbal tea with it. So I hope those little tips were helpful for you. I'll see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, same place right here. And I'm also sending out the replays of the videos through email too. So if you haven't gotten all the handouts from these last 3 days, if you still sign up for the challenge, you will be getting all those handouts and video replays in one email. I just keep adding to it. So thanks for joining in, and I'll see you tomorrow.